In 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to the 5G podcast.
My name is Steven.
My name is Trevor.
We hope you enjoy our conversations about God, guns, gaming, goals, and gastronomy.
Our point is to provide a honest, down-to-earth conversation between two average guys.
Thanks for watching and hope you enjoy.
I have to channel my inner white girl with my...
With your Tumblr?
Yeah.
At least you don't have the... What do they have? It's weird. It's like a construction brand. The
Stanley Cups.
Stanley
Yeah.
Thermoses. I'm like, that's like a... I don't know,
Yeah.
heavy-duty...
Yeah, well, I have a Stanley tape measure. Right?
I think my, like, thermos is a Stanley or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what all these chicas are doing, but mine is a... This is a Yeti.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's another
But I got it for
popular
free.
brand.
I got it for free for shooting good.
Oh, nice.
Went
At a
to,
tournament?
No, it was a SHOT Show, which is I think it's the largest firearms convention in the world.
Okay.
If not the largest in the world, it's the largest in the United States.
Nice.
Which generally means the world as well.
I mean, yeah.
But you have to
At least for the
you have to
world
know
guns.
someone to go because it's technically an industry show, right? So you have to. So my family knows a custom gun maker, and so he goes every year, and we go. No, we don't go every year with him. It's like every other year, every 3 years. But whenever we go, they have, a bunch of these booths have like competitions and stuff, and like you enter, you put your name in, and then like you just get one try to like do whatever their competition is.
Huh.
And so most of the time this was the second place prize
Nice.
was the, I don't know, $60 Yeti, but it's got, their company logo on it, and then,
The
yeah.
nice looking AR on the front.
Yeah, so it's got some cool stuff, and then I won this same year I won this one, I won another competition, but it was just a bragging rights competition, because it was so this was per day,
Yeah.
but once you won, you couldn't win again, and
Oh,
so
bummer.
we went back every day so my brother and my dad could try.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my brother won one day, not the full thing, but he got like third or second or
Little mini prize, yeah.
yeah. I don't remember though. But then there's this one company, and they're actually an airsoft company. Which I don't know. Like, there's a bunch of airsoft companies that go to SHOT Show for whatever reason, which is fine. But they build a little booth with like targets in there, and it's 10 targets as quickly as you can, basically.
Okay, with an airsoft gun.
But
right.
with an airsoft pistol. But they're all so what it is they have a bunch of different targets set up at different distances, and you shoot the one that lights up. And it's 10 as quick as you can.
Gotcha.
And so
you can't just go in a row.
No, it's not ding 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 ding.
You have to predict,
you're like boom boom, and it's randomized.
Yeah, all right.
And so I got like, I probably have a picture of it somewhere, but it was like something like 2.7 seconds for all 10.
Dang, nice. Dude, so the next one lights up as soon as you hit one?
As soon as one is hit, the other one lights up.
Gotcha.
But,
so it is as fast as you can go.
Yeah. And that was good enough for the top 10.
Wow, nice.
When I so I don't think I got a prize for that one. I think it was just bragging rights, which was hilarious because all the people we went with tried this. We all tried at the same time, right? And I hit the top 10 at like 2.7, and at the time, it was like the fourth fastest time. And so I was like,
hey, number 4.
But at the end of the show, when they close everything down, it was like, I think I ended up at like 7th or 8th or something.
Oh,
like that.
all right. I got 4th place. Only 8 people have tried out so far. So.
Well, no.
Yeah.
But the people I go with a group of, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 in our group that we kind of 8 in our group that we kind of go with.
Yeah, so you guys all went and tried it.
And so, which is hilarious because they're the ones that introduced us to competitive shooting.
Yeah.
Is the two guys who own the custom gun shop, right? And so they introduced my family to competitive shooting, and then we go and I just clean house all the time with them. It's hilarious.
Give me all the prizes.
It makes one of the guys. So the owner of the firearms company, his younger son works for the company as well, and he's a little bit older than us, but he's like 32 or 33. So like we get along, like he's just reasonably close. But he it's always so funny because he's always so mad. He like goes for it. She's like, "You can't beat that, can you?" And I go, "Tick tick 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 tick." Beat it, and he's like, "Son of a bitch, what are you doing?" It's really funny, but
Talk
Yeah.
a lot of smack.
Yeah, it's a really good time though. But yeah, so
That's fun.
That's
That's fun.
how I got this, and I've had it for 2.5 years now, and it's it's my inner white girl as
That's
well.
right. You've got a channel on the White Girl. Sponsored by water.
Sponsored by Water. There's probably a company called Water that we can't actually say like we're sponsored by them.
Oh yeah, no, that's you're right. Okay, so we'll edit that out.
I'm not editing out the word water.
Just bleep it out.
Bleep.
What did he say there?
Water. So you just got back from well, we both just got back from
Both got back, yeah.
California. We kind of flip flopped.
Yeah, you the week before. I
Yeah.
just got back yesterday.
Yeah, let me tell you, man. At least, so I was in Oceanside
Mm-hmm.
for a big old family reunion. My grandpa's 80th birthday was this year, and so this was kind of
Wow,
like
yeah.
his like big
The big
huzzah, And so, but yeah, my whole mom's side of the family was out there, except for like one of the families. They just decided they didn't want to go for whatever reason.
Mm.
But I mean, I am usually not a beach goer,
Yeah.
but let me tell you, it was gorgeous there. And Oceanside, the city itself, is awesome.
Nice.
Like, yeah,
I-
I loved it.
See, I only know Newport. That's where my in-laws go every other year. Is kind of their tradition. This is the second time I've been since marrying into the family. But that they're all from there. They don't have any family left there. All the family left California, not surprisingly. But they still like to go back and just visit the beach. And they are like to go bum it on the beach family. And I was not at all. I think I'd been to the beach once beforehand growing up. But it was kind of interesting to see. Like, it was the first time I went 2 years ago. I remember joking with Lena, like, yeah, so what are we going to do at the beach? And Lena's like, nothing. You go to the beach.
Yeah.
That's it. You sit there and do nothing. But we actually went and did a whole bunch of stuff last time. And this time we found exciting things to do instead of just sitting on the beach, which is cool. I do kind of enjoy.
I can't stand it.
I'm kind of proud of myself that I was able to like throw away the work phone and the personal phone, and like I didn't even hardly watch YouTube or news. There was this dumb thing with a submarine going on. I barely even heard about that.
The submarine's hilarious.
I was at the beach. I was just relaxing, hanging out. And it was cool. It was nice. You don't really get to do that often, to actually take a vacation and
that's
totally
fair.
shut off. Like, my brother-in-law like runs his own HVAC company, and he was on the phone like every day. I mean, even though he's on vacation, you can't let that go.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice. Don't want to take that for granted. Just go relax.
Yeah,
Do nothing.
I've never really been a beach guy. I've always preferred the mountains. I've always been a camper, not a beach dweller.
And my family was too growing up. Totally.
Yeah.
Tons of camping.
But yeah, it was real nice. Ryan and I were like, if we ever become like gajillionaires, we don't own a beach house here.
A beach house.
Just like rent it out for like whenever you're not there. Just have like an Airbnb company, just like manage it or whatever. Pay your mortgage off on it.
And then you're like, oh, hey, we want to go for a week.
We're gonna go for a week or two. Just chill. If you got gajillions of dollars, you don't need to work. So
you just pick a beach house in every city.
But the city of Oceanside was kind of strange to me because, like, when there's two different types of cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's like super modern ones that have like grown or like have a culture of like skyscrapers, like New York type thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like big city vibe, and there's new stores coming in, and like it's always like fresh and changing and things like that,
Sure.
right? And then there's like podunk towns kind of thing, right? Like not podunk maybe, but like cities where like there's not much growth. It's maybe a little bit more touristy. There's not a ton of like development going on, right?
Yeah, because that's almost like the tourism. That's like what they're trying to sell. Is it's a little old fashioned or something.
But what I found, and the problem that usually happens, in my opinion, is that when like there's like a transition phase from like old to new, and that's usually pretty nasty for a city.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of dilapidated buildings and graffiti and junk like that, while they try to like tear down the old stuff and put in new stuff. Right? Oceanside though has done a really good job of integrating both of them. Because there's still like the old mom and pop stores and like the pier, which is like an older vibe type thing. But then there's these new stores that are around as well that are like really nice. Like we were walking down this street one day because I couldn't sit still at the beach, and so I was like, I'm going walking. You want to come with me?
Gotta go do something.
And so we just like walked through the city, and I was really impressed because there was like this old barber shop, like looked like it had been around for like 40, 50, 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then right next to it was this like new chicken place, like
Okay,
chicken
yeah.
mac and cheese place, which was fantastic. But like, and then like right next to that was like an older type ice cream parlor that looks like it had been there for
Yeah, since the
years.
50s or
Yeah.
whatever.
And I was like, and it like was all clean and stuff like that. I was like, wow,
That
they
is
did
pretty
really
interesting.
good. But
I'm trying to think, like, here, closest thing we have would be like Old Town Scottsdale. Like they've
like
tried
Old
to keep
Town Gilbert.
Old Town Gilbert. They've tried to keep some of the same like historical buildings, but then like outside that city block, it's all new
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah, I really liked it there. I really liked it there.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
You'd go back.
I would go back.
No, I agree.
10 out of 10.
I didn't like. Obviously, California's a huge place, but it's pretty cool. At least the little bits
Dude.
and places, the little cities I've seen that aren't the huge crap places to live in. from
If you
what I
get
hear.
outside of LA,
LA, yeah,
it's California's
Yeah.
such a nice state.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever been up to the Redwoods? Like Northern California?
It's
Oh my
on
gosh.
the bucket list. Someday.
Northern California is probably one of the prettiest places on the planet.
That's what I hear. Yep.
It's gorgeous. My family went on a camping trip. So my dad is a camper, right? That's why my family was always like, we would go camping.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it, right? Like, I'm all down for that.
Yeah.
And so one year for, what is it called? Like October break,
Mhm.
we decided we're like, well, we want to go to California and the beaches, but also it's October,
It's cold.
and
Yeah,
it's
gonna be
cold. and we also kind of like camping, so let's just combine it all. And so we went camping in California. We did.
Oh.
There's a bunch of campsites in Northern California, and we just like loaded up the excursion
Mhm.
and drove up there, and we're camping in all these like national forest campsites. It was
Neat, yeah.
awesome. It sucked sometimes because my sisters don't know how to set up a freaking tent, so my brother and I had set up the entire campsite
Every time. Yep.
every time for a week, and it was like not a new campsite every day, but we had like 4 campsites within the week, so like
Sure.
every 2 days or 3 days or so. But it was a blast anyway. It was awesome. We went through all like the redwoods and stuff, but some of the prettiest land in the world.
No, yeah, closest I've ever been to that. Which, not to compare, but I'm sure it's on a separate but similar scale as just Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, it's
Yellowstone's.
a very similar
amazing.
scale of gorgeousness.
Yeah, like
The
untouched
beauty. Yeah, it's different for sure because
Yeah.
Yellowstone is like this like wide open expanses and like huge mountains in the background, and you're not
Mhm.
really in the trees,
No, yeah, not
right?
so much.
I mean, there are trees there, obviously, right? They're
Yeah.
still forest, but they're not like, and they're big trees, but they're not like
The
gargantuan.
redwood
These
size,
trees,
yeah.
it's crazy. The ground around them is like relatively sparse. I mean, there's like shrubbery every once in a while, but it's like relatively sparse. And then there's just these trees where literally you drive through the tree, and it's like.
I've heard of that, or I've seen the pictures. Yeah, people like.
And we were like, we stopped and like we're having a picnic on the side of the road, and we were like running along this like log, and I just looked down and I was like, this is ginormous, like the size of this room in width. Like you could literally build a house in these trees. It was crazy. One of the prettiest places on the earth.
Man.
And there are a lot of pretty places on earth.
No, yeah, totally. One of my favorite like forests I ever hiked in Argentina on my mission. There was another little touristy village town called Villa La Angostura. Shout out. Tiny town, but they have a huge like peninsula in the bay there. And we hiked. I think it was like 4 or 5 miles out. And we did that for 1P day. We hiked out to the end, and you go through. They call it the there's a weird tree called an arachan in Spanish. They call it Bosque de los Arachanes, forest of the arachan trees. I don't know, but they looked like the bark looked like cinnamon. It was super
interesting.
Cool. Yeah, and they were like these big, like kind of bushy almost, but they were like thick too.
Interesting.
And you're just hiking on this peninsula, so beautiful. And then like at the very end is where most of the trees are at.
Yeah.
And it's just like, like you're in a different world. You're like the trees look weird, almost alien. Like I've never seen these anywhere.
That's so cool.
You just on left and right these weird.
And the bark was like cinnamon,
Yeah.
cinnamon like sticks, obviously.
yeah, cinnamon stick. Like that's what it looked like.
Interesting.
And it even, I don't think it was legitimately cinnamon, but it even like was kind of soft. It smelled nice, not like cinnamon, but
Yeah.
it was cool. It was cool. Unique flora in the down south of Argentina.
That's so. Man, there's so many places on this earth where I would love to just like visit.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like this stupid planet is so pretty.
Yeah. If you could just pick a map and just teleport wherever you wanted.
Oh my
to go see
gosh, how
everything,
awesome would that be?
right?
Like I always bringing it back to like nerdy stuff with magic. They always go to like these different planes and things like
Yeah.
that. It's like, dude, if I could just do that on Earth,
Just Earth.
you would spend your entire life just going everywhere.
There's enough to explore here that's unique and interesting.
Yeah, we don't need to go to like all these different like
Fantasy world.
fantasy world. Like, dude, Earth is like the shiz, man.
Just go to Australia. That is another world
Well,
practically.
yeah, that's a different planet for sure.
Yeah.
But like, just like Africa's gorgeous.
Mhm.
South America has beautiful mountain ranges, and the Amazon is and like all this stuff. North America has like such a variety of climates. You know, you have like the Arctic Circle and like Alaskan ranges and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and then like the Rockies come down through Canada into like basically down into Mexico.
You've got like any flavor of desert that you want.
Exactly.
Throughout
You've
that.
got high desert and like hot desert and cold desert and whatever other desert you want.
Yeah. New Zealand's super beautiful. You
Oh
see
my
a lot of that
gosh.
in Lord of the Rings.
Well,
Like,
and then like you think about like Europe,
yeah.
and besides the actual like setting of Europe, the nature, like
Mhm.
the cities in them of themselves are gorgeous. Like
Oh, totally.
I went to one of my friends and I, we went and spent a month in Europe before we started going to school.
Yeah, okay.
And we went there. We found flights for $400 round trip,
That's a steal.
and then stayed in the sketchiest hostels on the planet. We spent, I think, total altogether, I spent like $1,800 for a month in Europe.
Man.
And we went to, so we flew into Belgium, went to Germany, Italy, France, Amsterdam, the Netherlands, right? Belgium, Switzerland.
Cool.
I think that's all the ones we hit.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
for a whole month. That's sick.
But yeah, I mean, we went down all the way down to Naples
Mhm.
and saw the Pompeii and stuff like that. We went up through Rome and we went to Milan, and
Right.
Milan is a trash hole. I don't know why anyone goes there. Milan is like the most disgusting city on the planet.
it's the
That's
LA
not
of
100.
Europe.
No.
No, okay,
So-
all right.
Okay,
Take that
hot
back.
take. Paris, absolute trash.
Really?
Oh, if you don't have a gajillion dollars
Yeah.
to go and spend stuff and spend money there,
Mhm.
it's like, oh yay, a massive metal tower.
That's it.
And like you see like the little glass pyramid of the Louvre, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, this is cool. But like the city itself, like everything that was cool in France was outside of Paris.
Interesting, yeah. See, it's kind of funny because I haven't done really any research into it, but just because Lena's an artist, that's like one of our big like wish list items. It's like, oh, she wants to go to Paris just to see the Louvre
I mean,
because she likes art. But I'm like, for me, I'm like, I guess the food. Maybe I'd like the
okay,
food, but,
there is one thing that the Parisians have right. Well, they do a lot of things right.
but at least,
At least one is they have baguette vending machines.
oh man,
And what's even crazier about them is that it's €1 for a whole baguette,
what?
but it's baked inside of the machine.
No,
They
You're
pour
kidding.
flour, water, and whatever else you can use to make baguettes into
Yeah.
this machine, and then it bakes them fresh.
it just 3D prints
And then
a baguette.
Pretty
for you.
much, and then it heats it up before it dispenses it, so it's literally a hot, fresh baguette.
How long does it take? Like you got to put in your dollar bill and then
So I think
Baguettes.
I don't know, it didn't take that long. It wasn't baked that instant, but it was heated again, and so it was maybe
it's
like 5 minutes after I put in my euro coin.
Huh.
I like put it in. I was like, "What is this thing?" And I don't speak French or read French, but like I could like understand because there's a picture of baguette and a €1 sign.
picture of baguette and
And I was
money,
like,
you're like,
There's
I-
no. And
I
so
want
my
baguette.
buddy and I were like, "There's no way this is like a thing, right?"
this has got to be.
We're
a
like standing in
troll.
front of this like box, and we're like, "This has to be like a scam."
Is there a hidden camera around
And
here?
so I'm like,
what?
it's like €1, which is like $1.50.
That's nothing. Yeah.
So I'm just like, well,
It's worth a try.
I'm here. Why not? And so I put it in, and it goes doo doo doo, and like just like all these sounds, and I'm like, is it really? And then it goes ding, and like opens up
It's
this
like
door, and a baguette goes kink, and like pops out like that, and I was like, and I like grab the baguette, and it's like a 2 foot long baguette, hot and like nice
crunch
fluffy
it
bread on the
together.
inside, and I was like, what the heck, man? This is like amazing,
Dude.
and it's like it was like good bread too.
I'd almost think you were like telling a joke or you're a dream
I
that you had.
swear on my mother's future grave.
Baguette vending machines. Like,
It was the greatest thing ever.
what will they come up with next?
Yeah, but like, yeah. Anyway, getting back to like the Earth is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah. I was just talking with my wife the other day. It came up randomly, but like here in America, when we see like American history, like, oh yeah, this thing, whatever, inserted 200 years old, you're like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. And then Europe, it's like, yeah, this thing has like been around since the 14th century or whatever, like the old cathedrals and stuff.
Yeah.
14th century, like what?
Well, freaking A. We stayed in we were in Venice, which one of my favorite cities on the planet. Venice is hands down one of the coolest cities ever.
Wow, yeah, all right.
Just, I mean, I loved it.
Just
Like,
everything's connected by
it was
waterways.
warm outside. So we were in there in August, right? So it's like Europe gets pretty hot, right?
Yeah, summertime.
And so we were warm most of the time, but it was like cool enough during the night where it was like comfortable. But man, Venice, it was hot during the day, and so we were sweating. But then at night, you get that sea breeze, and I don't know what it is, but all the buildings, because there's like no streets, right? It's like walkways, but it just funnels the cold air, and so we were just getting these gorgeous breezes. But we stayed in the hostel we stayed in was like pretty cheap. It was like $20 a night, and we had a shared room, but it was like just 2 beds in it for $20 a night. But like, if you had put like the front lobby of that into any 5-star $1,000 a night hotel in America, you'd be like, yeah, this works. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Like,
Oh my gosh, it was gorgeous. It was.
Wow.
We like walked in and we're like, we're not in a hostel right now, right?
yeah.
And like we like said hello, and the guy spoke like perfect English,
Nice.
and we were like, hey, like this is whatever the name of the hostel was, and he's like, yeah, would you like to check in? Like, yeah. He's like, well, do you want like the dormitory rooms, or like would you like a double room? We're like, well, how much is it? He's like, well, a double room is $20 a night. And we're like, how much is the dormitory room? He's like, $5 a night. We're like, we'll just take the double room because it had a
We'll splurge.
it had a bathroom and two twin beds.
Oh yeah, so you didn't have to share like
No.
in the dorms.
No, and it was like, and there was an AC in there as well. Like, it was awesome. It was like better than some hotels I've stayed in that are like $100 a night.
Yeah, it's just some crappy motels here. Like,
Yeah, no, it was awesome. And like we got in kind of late in the afternoon, so we like checked in and then went out and had dinner, and we each bought ourselves a pizza and ate the entire thing, and it was fan-freaking-tastic. And then my buddy, he got one. I got like a traditional, I don't even know what I got. It was like a traditional pizza.
yeah,
I just said, what's your best pizza? And they were like, this one. And I was like,
blah blah
great.
blah blah something pizza. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And then
Assuming they were speaking Italian.
this guy didn't, this was like this was not in the touristy part of Venice, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's still Venice, so it's still touristy, right? But like, not as touristy. And so the guy didn't speak a lick of English, and I said, pizza?
Pizza. I know that word.
I don't know how to say, I forgot how to say please in
In Italian.
Italian. I learned how to say a couple words in each of the countries we're gonna, just so I could like, or I learned how to say, do you speak
Do you speak
English
Yeah.
in all of the languages?
In every language.
German, French, and Italian.
That's funny.
But yeah, and so I got, whatever they gave me. It was fantastic. Amazing pizza. And my buddy got one. I don't know how he ordered it. He must have like said something. But he's like looking through it, and he was like using Google Translate or something. I didn't want to put the effort in, but he got one, and it had like fried eggs on it.
Ooh.
And like soft or sunny side up or whatever, right?
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
the yolk was still runny, and so he would like
Yeah,
bite
on the
into it, and it was
pizza.
like, it's like a carbonara pizza, or not carbonara. Yeah, carbonara pizza.
I think so, yeah.
It was, yeah. But yeah,
That sounds awesome.
it was, and so the guy that ran this hostel, he spoke like 7 different languages fluently,
That's cool.
like English, Italian, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian or something like
Because
that,
you get tons of
and
travelers
German.
through
Yeah,
there.
he just, it was crazy, but yeah. Anyway,
Man.
there's a lot of stories from that trip that I could tell.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tons to talk about.
I wanted to ask you, switching gears a little bit, about
Sure.
what you think about the, well, kind of Magic the Gathering stuff.
Oh, yeah.
With the One Ring
Oh, man, yeah.
and how that's like,
I've been waiting to talk about that.
what, so like, I just saw something the other day that was saying that the bounty on it is up to like $2 million.
I saw you wrote that down. I'm like, see, I haven't checked the news for the past week.
Yeah.
Last I heard, it was $1 million.
That's just so bonkers.
It's
man.
I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, it's the One Ring. Magic the Gathering and Lord of the Rings had a crossover, and Magic printed a serialized 1/1 card. It's the only card they printed that's just a picture of the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. I mean,
It's in Elvish and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So you can't actually read it, but it looks cool. The art looks cool.
A little bit of shade right there.
And the card itself is like, okay, but obviously you're not going to be using this in a real game. You're not going to just
No.
like slam it down on the playground and like, hey, I got the One Ring, like, and so the hunt started to find the actual One Ring, and it's crazy. People started throwing out bounties. The first one I heard that was big was Cassius Marsh. He's a big NFL player who's also a nerd. He's into Magic. And I think he's got his own store, I'm pretty sure. His own
cool.
card shop. And his first bounty was 150,000. He said, hey, anyone who finds the card, because you just have to open it up in a booster pack like everybody else, I'll pay you 150,000. I'll fly you out to my store and we'll hang out for the weekend or whatever. And then he got a lot of flack that his offer was too low. And I'm like,
Well, he's the first
he's
one,
the first
man.
one.
Like,
He can put what he wants. So then I think he ended up raising his to like $500,000.
Jeez,
Just because he got pressured by the internet. But I mean, obviously, he probably had the $500,000 to do it anyway. But that's not the point. Like, he was offering
nonetheless,
150.
yeah.
Shouldn't get pressured for that. He's just one guy. Because then after that, there was a big store that offered $1 million.
Wow.
I forget the name of the store, but they were like, yeah, the big serious store. They'd been around for decades. Like, yeah, we'll offer $1 million for the One Ring, just to have bragging rights, just so they can put it up on a shelf
But it's so, like...
for a single piece of paper. That's just
Well, and I was watching a
big.
video from, do you know Tolarian Academy?
Tolarian Community College.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The professor.
Yeah.
Is his name, yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that he doesn't think that it's been even put into it, like sold in a pack yet.
I've heard rumors about that actually.
Because
yeah.
he thinks it's going to be put into the like the collector edition package or whatever, not in like a draft booster, like a booster pack box.
Yeah.
It's going to be in like the what do they call it? It's like the
collector boosters, but then they have like a special run that you're thinking of.
yeah, it's like a pack, and there's like 8 card packs in it that are like guaranteed to have like legendaries. Or
it's like a bundle or whatever.
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
collector bundle.
The collector bundles.
The collector bundle.
And then there's like one pack in there that's like supposed to be like super whatever.
Gotcha.
And those haven't even been like sold yet.
Yeah, they're not shipping until later this year, I think.
Yeah, and so he thinks he's going to be putting those.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense, but
That is a pretty good hypothesis.
yeah.
'Cause I've not this past week, but before that, I was reading up on Reddit and following a lot of the news on it. And a lot of people are theorizing, like, yeah, it's not just going to be in a random pack.
No way.
Like, that they're just going to have some random kid open it. Hey, it ruins the magic of, like, the Willy Wonka golden ticket a little bit.
Yeah.
But they know that this was going to be worth a lot of money, Wizards of the Coast, in doing their little contest.
Yeah.
I don't think they were just going to
I
throw it in a random pack and see it end up in a landfill 20 years from now.
how sad would that be?
Yeah, like,
But like honestly, like I would not be surprised if it never got found.
yeah.
Like this is something that's kind of sad though, is that after knowing all of the card releases that they've had, like the new cards and like the commander decks and stuff like that, I'm not like I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
But I'm not excited about this crossover.
No.
I don't think they did justice to like Lord of the Rings
Sure.
necessarily. And just like and there's some cool cars in it, and you know,
we talked about the commander decks last
Yeah.
time. Like, yeah, there's some cool stuff.
but
some
like
not
the
so
commander
good.
decks are like pretty crappy compared to like the Warhammer
The
crossover.
Warhammer crossovers.
I mean,
Amazing, yeah.
well, and then the next crossover that they're doing is with Doctor Who.
I think that's later this year.
Yeah, I just saw like an ad for it or something like that. I
Mhm.
don't know what it was, but it was like a TikTok or something like that of
Yeah.
it. And like, my wife is more into Doctor Who than I am. I
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
know-ish how it goes.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't. I watched a little bit of the shows, but like my wife's watched like all of the shows, like from the,
even the
like,
old ones,
the old ones, like the
black and
original.
white,
Yeah, like
old-
she's watched all of the Doctors,
old BBC. Okay.
and so like for me,
I've just seen like the American part. They started with 9, 10, and 11 Doctors. 9,
Yeah.
10, 11. That's where I picked up. That's kind of the resurgence, but
yeah,
that's all I'd seen.
I never got into it, but my wife's into it. But like, they have some like really good potential for a lot of these things. I just think they have to like not mess it up, and I think they might have messed up a little bit on the.
The Lord of the Rings.
I think the hype around it does not live up to the actual product that they're delivering.
Oh yeah, okay. As far as just the card design or like the art you're talking
The
about.
art is fine. The
Yeah,
art is
okay,
fine.
okay.
The art is sick. I mean, Wizard of the Coast never misses on their art.
Yeah, that's always pretty.
I mean,
I saw a couple weird ones, but I think people were just like nitpicking a little bit of like Legolas's arm looks weird in this picture, and I'm like,
they're all hand drawn art, man. Like
Yeah.
they're not like.
I don't know. He just fired an arrow. Maybe his arm. Yeah, sure, this is the perspective. I don't know.
Whatever.
But as far as like the design,
I just don't think that they're the art of the cards is great, but the design of the card and like what they do
Yeah.
is not like.
for instance, if you've read the books and like you like Theoden, King of Rohan, he just had one kind of crappy card. That wasn't really that good.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, Theoden is never ever going to get used.
No,
And,
then
and if this is your hobby, if this is what you like,
yeah, and then you have like this the Sauron deck.
Mm-hmm.
And, like Sauron is the bad guy who has defeated multiple armies and kingdoms that have come up against him, right? Like, the guy's a bad A, and then his deck was like,
Meh.
okay, I guess it's like usable.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like atrociously bad, but it's not amazing.
Right.
You know, I just didn't feel like it was good. But that's the opinion of a layman. So
Sure. I mean, that's what we're here for.
I'm interested to see what they do with
The Doctor Who.
Doctor.
They don't have any of the cards spoiled yet.
No, not yet. We'll obviously have to touch on that in a little bit, but I wonder if maybe. Do you think they're doing too many big crossovers
Any crossovers
this year? Because this year was Warhammer.
It was technically the end of last year.
Oh, was it? Was
Yeah.
okay? So was that November, December of last year?
October maybe.
Okay. So then I guess they're only doing 2 big crossovers this year. It's going to be Lord of the Rings and Doctor
Lord of
Who.
the Rings and Doctor Who, but that's pretty ambitious. I at least to give a little perspective, I think the current problem is maybe better than what we had before, because the first crossover was The Walking Dead, and a lot of Magic the Gathering fans were like, I don't know how those two connect. The Walking Dead fans, they're like trying to get the Walking Dead fans to come play Magic the Gathering and to sell product, obviously. And then Magic the Gathering fans are like, yeah, maybe they like the show too, but that's not really a direct connection. That's not fantasy
No.
at all.
It's not really in like the nerddom necessarily.
No, and so that kind of caused a big debacle at the start. And Wizards Coast, they had PR people handle that and responded of saying, oh well, it's I don't know, it's fantasy-esque or something. There's fighting.
Yeah.
I forget the exact words they used. But so I'm saying at least that is kind of done away with. All of their latest crossovers, like Warhammer 40K. I mean, that's fantasy.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a perfect crossover. Lord of the Rings, obviously. Doctor Who, yeah, I can also see that. Like, sure.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how they do the Doctor Who one.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying. So at least now it seems like they're doing good crossovers.
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
that's at least maybe the nerds, the fans are a little bit more closely aligned, and you get some good crossover.
Yeah, that's fair.
Somebody's like, oh, I've never seen Doctor Who. Maybe I'll go watch it now. and vice
Yeah, that's a
versa.
good point.
I'll go play Magic the Gathering. Give it a try.
Yeah, I just think I'm interested to see, because Doctor Who is sci-fi, not fantasy,
Sure.
and so I don't know how well like Warhammer is
Technically both. Really?
technically both, but it's really fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
I mean, the Space Marines are carrying swords.
You have orcs. That translates.
Yeah,
both,
there you go.
To both fantasy universes.
But you know, and same with like Lord of the Rings, obviously, like
that's the OG fantasy.
yeah. But with sci-fi stuff, it's like, okay, how are you gonna design cards that are like not just broken? Like if you put like a Dalek in a card, you're like, okay, well, a Dalek obviously just destroys, like kills anything.
They exterminate.
Or like the Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
It's like,
Would be unstoppable.
are you gonna do that in a card? You know?
Yeah, so it is kind of interesting. We make the joke all the time at our Magic Nights, like a 1/1 soldier, 1 power, 1 toughness.
Yeah.
It's like he gets beaten by a 1/1 badger or whatever. Like
Yeah.
This battle hardened trained soldier.
Or when I play the Tyranids deck and a creature doesn't have trample.
Yeah.
And
He's
I have a
ginormous.
27, you know, Goliath
His name is Towering Titan of Death or whatever.
Bio-Titan of Doom or whatever, right?
And you get stopped by 1 cat.
One sapperling.
That's it.
I am a weed, and I put myself in front of you, and you step on me, and you die.
Yeah. All right. You'll probably never get like perfect design. The best you can do is just the flavor.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they do it, and like if they release any planeswalkers or anything like that. I think
I
the
heard
Doctor as a
something dumb.
planeswalker would be sick because he is a planeswalker.
Totally. Like
Like-
people have been theorizing about that. That's in Magic lore of special people. Planeswalkers can hop between the
Yeah.
realms. That kind of perfectly describes a Doctor. But I heard, I read a tweet from Mark Rosewater. He's one of the lead designers. He was saying that they didn't want to do planeswalkers in these crossover products, as far as for the rules of the game, because that introduces in as a new planeswalker type, a new planeswalker subtype.
Oh,
And so they would never be able to like print those, or sometimes cards interact with planeswalker types, and you say the name, like Jace is a character that's got, I don't know, a dozen different cards,
Yeah.
but they're all Jace planeswalkers. I think it would make perfect sense.
yeah,
to make it
but that also makes sense, you know,
Yeah.
like
and they won't always have the licenses for these crossovers forever. So as far as like reprinting cards, is probably out of the question. Like those Warhammer cards, I don't think we're ever going to get reprints of that or new ones unless they work out another contract, another deal.
yeah, I mean, I feel like those were successful enough that they might be able
They
to,
should.
and those ones are, in terms of like I understand, like you might not get Lord of the Rings ever again because it's Lord of the Rings, right? It's a huge franchise, huge IP, and like same with Doctor Who to a little bit lesser of a lesser extent, but still, right?
Pretty big, yeah.
But if you think about like people who play Magic the Gathering and people who play Warhammer, and like those two companies,
That's pretty close.
I mean, if you told me that the same company developed both those games, I'd be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I believe it, yeah.
Like if Games Workshop and Wizards of the Coast was the same company, I'd be like, yeah.
It's just cards and minis, but yeah, fantasy.
I mean,
battles.
it would make perfect sense for me, right? Obviously, they're not, but you know what I mean. And so for them to like say like, hey, this was successful last time, want to give it another shot?
Let's make some more money.
Yeah. And I mean, those ones went so well the first time that if they did a second, 3 more commander decks or whatever, or whatever cards, like I mean,
because everybody has their favorite.
because there's so many other factions in. I mean, they could do Tau, they could do orcs,
Yeah.
they could do like Astra Militarum, because they didn't really do Astra Militarum. They did kind of two.
They had 1 or 2 cards.
They had a Chaos Marines and a like the other Marines,
Just the normal Space Marines.
and then Tyranids,
yeah,
right? So like they could do Tau, Necrons,
the
orcs.
Eldar are big.
Whoever.
Yeah,
There's tons of factions that they could redo another, which
totally do another run. Yeah,
I would 100% buy
I
a
would.
Death Korps Creek deck
I know you would. Yeah.
because those guys are my dudes, man.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Getting excited. Yeah, to play the new edition. We'll have to come up. probably
Yeah.
this week or next, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. So
All the rules are out.
Yeah. And I've already got my army all set up for it as well. I think I was telling you that I'm pretty pumped to play it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm interested to see how it goes because we only play 1,000-point games.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if maybe we try to up that to 2,000 at some point.
Well, yeah, and we've even theorized doing like some 2v2s, 1,000 points each, and some tournaments do that. Like there's a precedent for that.
Well, I think it'd be fun because you play Chaos
Yeah,
Marines.
chaos.
Colin plays non Empire.
The Xenos.
Yeah,
is
you know,
what
he
likes,
plays
yeah.
Necrons.
Necrons.
Caleb and I are both Astra Militarum.
Both Empire. Yeah, so that's
Yeah, Empire. So it'd be really fun to do like the Empire versus non-Empire.
do like
you know?
a free for all. Well, you two were on a team.
Yeah, us two, and then like
For the Emperor.
yeah, death to the heretics.
Yeah, purge the Xenos.
Yeah, just because
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I just man, I'm so excited for my Deathborn Creek army.
Yeah, it'll be sick. You've been reading up on the new rules.
Dude, they're broken, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know how in the weeds we want to go on this because Deathborn Creek are so broken right now.
We haven't even played them yet, but we know. We're pretty sure.
I mean, I have like Necron powers.
Yeah, you just come back to life. That's cool.
And because Deathborn Creek are bad A's, I get an extra. So per 10 units, I get an extra special unit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 10 guys in your group normally, one of them in Astra Militarum rules can have like a sniper rifle or a flamethrower or a,
grenade launcher,
whatever.
Everybody else has got to have the crappy guns. Yeah.
Except for one other guy can have a plasma rifle.
Right.
And so you'll have in like a group of 10, you'll have 8 regular guys, and then one guy with a plasma rifle, and then another guy with whatever you want, right? Deathborn Creek, they're like, yeah, you get like the special rifle and you get the plasma rifle and a special one, but also another special one
Just
per 10.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, and then I'm setting mine up where I have 3 units of infantry,
Mm-hmm.
2 of 10 and 1 of 20.
Yeah.
And each one of those has a platoon command squad attached to it.
Of another 5 guys. Right?
Of another 5 guys.
Right. Yeah.
And 4 of the guys have special abilities, and then the 5th guy is kind of like, you can just do whatever you want with him. And so my group of 15 guys has 3 flamethrowers, plus a bunch of other crap.
All their other.
Plus a plasma rifle, plus 7
just normal
las guns, and then the 4 remaining platoon command squad guys, right?
Command.
And then in my group of 20, I have 5 melta-guns.
Yeah.
Plus a gajillion other, 14 las guns.
And the command squad.
And the commands. And it's like...
And then your last one's the sniper squad.
Yeah, the snipers. I got 3 snipers. And those guys are like my anti-warlord.
What was that squad called in the Revolutionary War? The sniper squad that we had?
Oh,
I think the Kentucky Long Rifles, they called them.
well, that's the gun that they
name of
used.
the gun, I feel like that was their name as well.
Maybe,
I
it could have
be
been.
wrong.
I don't remember.
But yeah, they totally just sat in the trees and just sniped generals off of horses.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's you. Yeah.
That's and then I have
guerrilla warfare.
And then I have 2 Scout Sentinels, the Walker things,
Yep,
right?
the little ATSTs.
And then I've got 3 Basilisk cannons that are just gonna obliterate other infantry.
That's your artillery, right?
That's my artillery.
Yeah, you're just gonna
Yep.
park those.
And they have a range of 240 inches.
What? That's not fire alarm.
Oh, I was like, really already?
No, that's time to go to bed.
Oh.
The boards aren't even that
literally
big.
20 feet.
They're only like, I think the biggest they go is 144 inches.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest tables.
And what's even more broken is that I have Lord Solon Leontis, or whatever his name is, as my warlord. And he has an ability that lets him give 3 commands per turn.
What?
And I have 3 basilisks.
Yeah, most of the warlords only like dish out 1 buff, 1 command a turn.
He does 3 per turn and gives me an extra command point each turn.
Yeah, which is going to be brutal. I haven't played the new edition, but command points were like plentiful in the last edition.
Yeah.
And they seem like they're not at all in this one.
So with this guy, I can give my basilisks a command point to ignore cover.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I have my Scout Sentinels that give them a +1 to hit if they're behind cover.
Nice.
And so ignoring cover doesn't get rid of the cover.
Yeah, because you can only, like, I think to hit, you can only stack +1 or -1.
Mm-hmm.
But just, you ignore cover, which is effectively a +1. Without
But it's not.
But it's not, so you can still get the +1 bonus.
Yeah.
That's cool. So +2, technically.
If they're behind cover.
If they're behind cover, which you're shooting it so far away that most of the time cover's involved.
I mean, honestly, I'm parking my basilisks in the back corner of the map.
Yeah.
And just putting my warlord right behind them.
That's wild. I'm trying to... Some of the stuff, like, from last edition that I thought my army did was pretty cool. Now it just seems like everyone can do it. Like, one of my cool abilities, because I had a whole psychic army, one of the spells that we could cast would bring back a unit from the dead, but it was called Time Flux. We, like, rewound time.
Oh, yeah.
To bring back a guy. It was, oh, man, it was so cool when that went off. You know, because the guys I brought back individually were pretty strong, pretty useful. And now you're telling me that, like, yeah, your guys are just zombies. They just come back to life every turn.
I don't remember exactly how it works, but I can roll if I have a medic in my platoon command squad.
Mm-hmm.
I can roll to like repair or to like fix wounds on units that have taken wounds.
Yeah, but if
everyone dies, I can just spend 2 command points and bring the unit back.
Bring them back. Why not?
And so for like. If one of my one basilisk is 1 unit for me, right?
Yeah.
So if one of my basilisks gets destroyed, I can just be like,
also just
at the beginning of my turn, I bring this back.
I don't know how that works, but it does.
Well, so it's called reinforcements.
You replace it.
It's not bringing them back to life. It's get a new unit.
I guess that works.
See,
all of mine was
explained
explained with like
charging
magic stuff, like time flux, or the other thing we could do is like teleport around the battlefield. We've got special magic things.
I thought about using Death Korps of Creek engineers because they can basically teleport.
Yeah, it just seems like everybody can do it.
Well, but that was 9th edition. I don't know about I don't know what they do in 10th edition. I haven't looked them up because I didn't choose them ultimately.
The Grey Knights is a faction of Space Marines. They're kind of the counterpart to my guys, the Thousand Suns, the Chaos Psyker dudes. The Grey Knights, their special abilities, it's literally every turn you can pick like up to 3 of your squads and just teleport them wherever you want.
So broken.
I'm like, oh, I think I picked the wrong army. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Because normally my army's kind of slow, but if I'm teleporting all over the place,
then for sure
it doesn't matter. So I'm excited to play.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I didn't think I was gonna be like. I knew I was gonna be excited and like I enjoy playing it, right? But like I'm like. When I was like putting the files together and stuff like that, because I'm not buying all of them, I'm 3D printing mine.
No, yeah,
because
expensive hobby,
too much money. What I was gonna buy would cost like $1,000 or something stupid, like close to it, and I'm like, no thanks. But yeah, man, like I'm just printing all of them, and they're printing right now, and I'm super pumped.
That's cool.
You saw some of them yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the cannons.
Yesterday? Yeah.
The basilisk cannons.
Yeah, so. They're pretty sick. I'm super pumped for them, but...
That'll be fun. Warhammer.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Next time, we'll be talking about our best dog-related stories. Both of us. That should be a good time. And we'll also talk about some of our top books. Top 3, top 5.
Something like that.
Something like that.
So, hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.
See ya.